Good afternoon. This is Matt Mahoney, and I'm with Security Solutions again. How are you today? And today we have an amazing guest, another security CEO that has fantastic business. His name is Anton Kalaydjian, and he is the CEO of Guardian Professional Security. So, welcome to the show, Anton. Tell us
Thank you.
who you are and where do you come from and what do you do?
Well, thank you, Matt. I appreciate that. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me. So, yeah, I own Guardian Professional Security. It's a company a little over 20 years old now, based in South Florida. We specialize in mostly executive protection, celebrity protection, and event security. Anything from a small, very private event to large scale events like the World Cup and Super Bowl, etc. So that's basically the three divisions of Guardian. We've got an office in Los Angeles as well that we've opened up 2 years ago. So now we're bi-coastal and things have been going well. Things have been going well.
Excellent. Yeah, I like to hear it. So, where's your main emphasis right now? I know you said three different things, but
Yeah,
are you more into the security or what?
it's a three-headed monster. I mean, right now we're coming into the summertime, which is touring season for musical artists. So we had a lot of world tours going where we've got agents out there traveling internationally with them everywhere they go. Executive protection is always pretty steady. That's not that volatile. It's kind of even keel, always keeping us busy. And the event security, we cover a lot of major events down here in Miami, a lot of the stadiums here. For example, we do a Inter Miami Major League Soccer. We've got a game tomorrow night at that stadium. World Cup is here. We're going to be doing Hard Rock Stadium as well, which is where we're at with the Miami Dolphins, the Miami Hurricanes, Formula One, Miami Open, a bunch of other different musical concerts we all do there. So the event season's heating up. The touring season for the celebrity protection's heating up, and Florida's heating up, literally. So it's been very busy.
Right, nice. Well, besides the heat already in Miami, right? You're talking about the your your
Brutal.
your business. That's pretty amazing. I mean, those are three big businesses that any company would probably specialize in any one of those
Yeah.
things. To have all three is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And just I don't know how you would even get clients like in those marketing
It,
scare
it's
those.
It's word of mouth, Matt. I mean, it's not possible without the right leaders. So each division that we have the right guy to run that division.
Mhm.
Event division that we've got Alan Knight, who's been with the company almost 20 years, and he runs that division better than I could. With the executive protection division, we've got David out there that runs that division, and he's very sharp, very to the point, clean cut, and does a very good job running that team. And I kind of oversee the celebrity side for now until I handle the guy that we're going to end up making the head guy for that division, so I can just continue oversight and let I got the Steve Jobs approach where you hire people smarter than you and you get out of their way. So that's what I'm looking to do with that division.
Right. Fantastic. Yeah, totally. Get the experts in there that know more than I do.
Yeah,
Just run the show from the back.
yeah,
Amazing. So how many, let's say like an advanced security, you got to have like 100 guys to do that or something, right?
about 700, about 700.
700. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can even handle that many people.
Again, right, leaders and, behind every director of operations for every division, there's supervisors underneath them, and then, there's supervisors of the event guards, and you also
Right.
ushers, and then also have a division called the HIT team, which is a response team, a high intensity team that, that hits fast and furious throughout the event to make sure everybody's safe, no fights break out, anybody that needs to be, escorted off property is brought to the police, so
Bouncers. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, well, kind of. They're kinda like I like to consider them like the SWAT team of unarmed event security, where they
There you
chop
go.
backs and they're the ones running in the stands when people are about to punch each other in the face, and they're the ones grabbing them and bringing them to the police, and we've always had a very good synergy with every police department in this area, so those guys are vital. The HIT team guys are vital.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest part of of the protection gig at an event. You need to evict people when they need it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. We just
You
want
know,
we got rules to enforce, and we're here to enforce them and make sure everybody gets home safe.
right? Yeah, that's like the guys that are at the infield of the baseball game, and they're facing the stands. They're not watching the game at all.
Yeah, yeah, so they
They're
do.
like, yeah, I can't watch the game.
Can't watch the game. I'm a local. I'm a South Florida native, so I'm a Dolphins fan, but I go to all the home games to work 'em, and I don't see one snap.
That's rough, man. That's rough. I mean, I'm a Giants fan, so I'll be like, how do I miss the game? You have
Yeah.
to catch it later on the recording, right?
Yeah, yeah, you guys look good too, by the way.
Yeah, when you're working, you're working.
Yeah,
It's got to be professional,
yeah,
no matter what it is or who it is. Yeah,
absolutely.
that's great. So, what was I going to say about the security field? I mean, yeah, the event security, that's amazing.
Yeah, the event that
Hundreds of people.
hundreds of
So,
people.
do you have some kind of a training certification? How do you handle training?
A lot of training, a lot of hands-on training physically. I'm the CEO, but I'm also on the field with these guys. I'm also in there with them before kickoff and after kickoff. I mean, so there's a lot of on-the-job training. I'm also an instructor at the Executive Protection Institute up in West Virginia, which is one of
Excellent.
the top bodyguard schools there are, for lack of better words. I teach there. I specialize in celebrity protection courses and security courses there. We do crowd management, we do stop the bleed, AED, first aid, CPR. We have a training center down the street here. Our headquarters is in Fort Lauderdale. We have a training center in Dania Beach where it's exclusive only for training. It's a beautiful gym. We've got a cage upstairs with mats for hands-on training, weights on the bottom, and that's where we bring instructors. So we do
Beautiful.
we have guys that are in-house that are black belts of jujitsu that have been working with us, and I'll hire them to come train our guys in a way to where we're not hurting anybody, but restraining them without breaking it. No neck restraints, no striking, things of that nature. So that training center is 24 hours a day, and it's only accessible to Guardian employees, and that's where we do the majority of our training.
Outstanding. Boy, that's I haven't heard many firms doing that.
I haven't heard any,
That's
to be honest. I'm kinda proud of it. It was an idea I had
totally.
to find, like, what if we built a citadel? Like, what if we built something to where you can just sharpen your craft you know, uh, and make it a home? So we did that, and it's been awesome. It's been a blessing, and the guards love it, and it mitigates lawsuits for me, and it mitigates, incidents for me. So, yeah, they come prepared.
Yeah, the better trained you are. I way back when I came on in New York, I got my black belt in jujitsu before I was a cop because I've realized, hey, man, I'm going to be a cop in New York City. Those guys get tested right away.
Yeah,
So I was like, I need to know hand to hand. I need to know how to handle people, put
yeah,
hands on people because you're going to do it.
you're
It's
gonna
a
do it.
guarantee.
You know, you
So, and
you're
I realized that I was one of the few trained people when I went to the academy. I was like, wow, how am I the only trained guy here?
it's crazy. You'd be
I
surprised.
would think everybody would.
Especially in the celebrity protection business, when you're dealing with bodyguards again, close protection agents that deal with celebs, you'd be surprised how many have no training at all. They're just, big muscular people that dress the part and act the
Big
part.
guys.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Glorified bouncers, and look, no knock on bouncers. I ran 23 clubs in South Florida when I was younger. A lot of good guys from there, but that
Right.
doesn't qualify you to be a close protection agent. Like, you need to get training for that.
Right. Size and strength only goes so far. And it does handle a lot of things. But really, technique is more important. I mean, jujitsu is just for me, I mean, just off balancing and somebody
Yeah.
to a control technique is amazing because you're not hurting somebody.
Correct. Yeah. I mean,
You know?
I've studied judo, and my father trained me when he was also a judo guy, and we've always learned from a young age, and it just builds confidence as well. Oftentimes
Totally.
as bodyguards, you're alone out there. You're a sole practitioner, and you're by yourself. And if there's an issue with one or two or three guys, if you don't have any training, your principal is going to get hurt. You're going to get hurt. So it's better to be trained than not.
Absolutely. There's so many benefits of the arts,
Yeah.
to be able to you gotta be able to handle yourself,
Yeah.
right? Regardless, and you gotta
Yeah.
have no fear.
Absolutely.
You gotta be able to do it as soon as it,
It's a job.
it's anything in law enforcement.
It's a
We
job.
needed it.
Not everybody could do it, but this career is not for everybody.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, man, I can't believe it. So you let them go you give them training time during a workday, or is it like off days they can go?
Yeah, so before the actual workday, we'll do some training and briefing. Like if it's the events, for example, like we're put the bodyguards aside. If it's the event division, we'll get out there early before gates open up. We'll brief the guys up. We do drills with these guards. Reaction time drills. I bring a stopwatch and a whistle. Oftentimes with soccer, especially, people try to run on the pitch, the field. So we got to time how we deploy these guys, and and we teach them what to look for. We teach them the pattern or behavior of people and how to see where they're positioning themselves. And that guy might be a jumper. That guy is suspicious. So it's a lot of live examples and a lot of physical training there. But as I mentioned, that gym is open 24/7. So we'll bring the supervisors in, we'll bring the guards in, and we'll hold a course. Like, for example, we're about to do a course. There's a gentleman that teaches first aid, CPR, AED, stop the bleed. And he's much, again, smarter than me and get out of his way. This guy was, I believe he was he was a paramedic at Hollandale Beach, and he knows how to do all that. He trains military as well, so we'll bring them there as well. I'll just say, "Hey guys, we're do a training. How many people do you think could get in here?" And well, they'll raise their hand on our calendar, our virtual calendar. Before you know, we'll have a classroom of 20, 25 guys.
Awesome. Yeah, that's really good. Not only do you, go find an expert and you have the facility right for it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
you know,
we invest in our guards. I'm a guard too. We invest in our guards, so we don't charge the guards anything. I come out of pocket for that because I want high quality guys representing this company, and I don't want shirt fillers out there like
excellent.
potted plants, right? So I want guys that I know are going to have our backs, and we're going to have theirs. So it's to me, it's nominal. Of course, it can get expensive at times, but when you invest in your guards and it doesn't come out of the pocket, and they come out with certifications that they wouldn't have prior, it just makes you a better team.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, you're investing in your company when it comes down to it.
Yeah, yeah,
So, and the whole lawsuit issue is a massive deal as well. So,
yeah. Tell me about it.
a better trained person who can handle themselves without injuring people is a massive lawsuit saver.
Absolutely. These prosecuting attorneys will make you look like Satan. They'll say the worst things about you.
Totally.
If you could prove that you're trained and you're certified in this and that and all these different certifications and all this different training, it bodes well when it comes to deposition time.
Excellent. Yeah, for sure, man. That is amazing. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's so hard to find good trainers and people that are trained.
Yeah.
Unless you find military guys or
Yeah.
tier one guys or something, they're hard to find though.
It's funny though, Matt, because like social media is to blame for this. Ever since social media got all these cool bang bang look at me shoot videos and like it's all a lot of times that's show and who's really training me. Like who really. Of course, it looks sexy on YouTube and on Instagram, but like what has this guy done in his career? What is his background? How many countries has he worked in? Who were his clients? Does he have any military or law enforcement? Like these are all like who are we learning from? There's a lot of so-called professionals out there. So it's
Hmm.
important to vet
Hmm.
the academy you're going to, the school you're going to, wherever you're getting trained. Important to vet them and don't just go after the shiniest toy. Go after something with depth, with real guys teaching it, because you're just doing a disservice to yourself if you don't.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've heard very good things about ESI. I mean, are you part of the ownership there? Are you just an instructor there? Or,
ESI, they're friends of ours. I work for EPI, Executive Protection Institute. So
sorry, EPI.
yeah,
Right.
EPI. Yeah, no, yeah, those guys there. I mean, I haven't seen. I'm not a part owner. I'm just an instructor, lead instructor, for, like I said, event security and celebrity protection. But the dais of instructors that we have there, I've never seen a school with so many professionals in their respective fields. I mean, everything down to, from police captains and lieutenants and down to etiquette training on if you go to a fine dining Michelin restaurant, then and you're a bodyguard and you don't look like a big dumb animal because you picked up the wrong fork. Like they go through it A through Z there. It's a 100-hour course in 7 days, so you can imagine it's very thorough. But yeah, I'm just an instructor there.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I had no idea they went into the depth of manners and things like that. But it depends, right? It's important when you're in those situations. Same thing with my wife; she's in banking, and she knows right away if you're not in that level
Yeah.
of background.
Yeah, because our ultra high net worth individual clients, the executives
That's right.
especially, they don't want to be embarrassed, and sometimes you do have to sit next to them. We prefer not to, but if they insist, you have to. And you know, uh, I grew up
Right.
pretty damn poor out here in West Boca, and I didn't know there was a difference between a solid fork and a regular fork, whatever. But they go through it A through Z. So when you come in there, you don't embarrass yourself or your client, and you look like you know what you're doing because you do.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're right. High end people want to deal with high end people.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know.
you're a reflection on your client. That's why it's important to, stay in decent shape, dress the part, don't look sloppy, because you are a reflection of them. You're the guard that you're guarding the body. So you're closer to them than anybody else is. So you have to look the part and act the part.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got to bond with them. They gotta like you, and they gotta want to keep you.
Yeah. Yeah,
If you don't bond with them, that you're out.
exactly right. And, we're fortunate enough here. I know our guards very well, and they know me very well. I even know their families. So we're very tight here, and I know their personalities. And I might have one guard's personality that I know is not going to mesh with a client's personality. And why would I, even though he'll protect the hell out of her or him, she'll be safe forever. But they're not going to, she's not going to tolerate, or he's not going to tolerate certain things that that guard does, and vice versa. But I wouldn't say I get it right every time, Matt, but I would say 9 out of 10 times, because I know my guys and I know my clients so well, I get it right. To I pick up the right personality with the right personality, because love it or hate it, they're stuck together. They have to be in each other's everyday presence, and in the same car, and in the same office, and in the same arena, or wherever. So that's a big part of it, getting along well with them and matching up your agents correctly with your clients.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's part of being the boss is making it smoother and it's for the best success,
Yeah.
you know, outlook possible.
Yep. Absolutely.
So tell me, you have an amazing business and it's been around for a long time. What is your favorite or your most productive marketing to get new business?
Straight up word of mouth. It really is. I'm a big fan of the old school business cards. Like I keep them everywhere. It's little, it's not a big deal, but it goes a long way. I've been asked to talk about self promoting, like how do you self promote a company? I've never been good at that. I've never tried to do that. It's not been my thing. I know that's big these days, and God bless people if it works for them. But for me, it's been word of mouth. I mean, you're a walking billboard. The way you hold yourself, the way you move, the way you everything you do. I tell my guards, always treat that client like it's the biggest client you have, whether it is or not, because you never know who's watching. And I would say over 95% of our business, I mean, I'm just saying 5% just to be safe, has been word of mouth. And that's been a blessing, because before I started Guardian 20 something years ago, 20 years ago, 2005, I was a bodyguard myself. And I worked for a very high risk, high profile client for about 4 years, lived with them, traveled the world, and I got noticed. And people would say, "Hey, do you have a card? Do you have somebody like you?" And the answer was always no, because I didn't. And then I started realizing that if I could duplicate what I'm doing and keep handing out business cards and keep showing showing that presence that professional presence that I do, that's going to become a word of mouth thing, to where people are like, "Who's that guy? Well, he gave me his card. He does have somebody that works like him and presents himself like himself, because they work together. Let me get his bio." And that's how we've been getting the bodyguard work. The event security, the same thing. It's been word of mouth. Again, been here in South Florida since 1978. I've been bouncing in the nightclubs since I was 18 years old, and back in 1996. Built a good reputation for Guardian since then as well. So there's a lot of people equity there. A lot of management, decision makers. I have equity with them because I've got decades of history of doing the right thing by them. So that's how it just progresses. It's like peeling an onion. Well, that company, who's that company at Inter Miami? Those guys are good. Okay, maybe we might want them with the Miami Dolphins. So that's it. And the other 5%, I mean, we do have a company Instagram and a company LinkedIn and a company Facebook. Not that active on it as much as I probably should be. But then again, it's difficult for us, Matt, because a lot of people that we protect, we don't really want to push them out there. Like we don't want to show too much of our lives, because we are the gray man, right? So it's difficult to try to promote yourself too much on those platforms without whoring yourself out or your clients out.
True, true. It's all about reputation.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, word of mouth is always the strongest because you can say, "Hey, listen, I personally hire these guys and they're the best."
Yeah.
So, you can't get a better recommendation than that.
100%.
There's nothing on the internet that's gonna match that. It's just that is that what kind of speed is that coming in at? And everybody's different. Everybody's got a different word of mouth,
Yeah.
different Rolodex, and, some people it's fast enough, some people it's not.
Yeah.
So, it just depends, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I also go, what I found good for other agents that are out there. I'm sure you already know about it, the IPSB, which is the convention, is the biggest convention annually, I believe, in the world, if not America for sure. And they hold it once a year. It's in December. I go every year. Sometimes they ask me to speak. I'm happy to speak there. I've met a lot of people like us, Matt, that just have similar backgrounds, but not the same, and that just network there, and you never know what that could lead to. You might have somebody that I meet in New Jersey, that's a New Jersey-based agent, might have a detail here in Miami. "Oh, Anton, I met him at the IPSB," and then now there's a relationship there, and that creates more jobs for our guys down here, and it's vice versa. I'm not licensed in New York, for example. Guardian's not licensed there. We can't carry firearms there. So, I was able to meet some New York-based agents out there, so that's always good, networking with colleagues, it doesn't have to be the IPSB, but any kind of, social event like that. But not.
Right, those events are specific for our field, and, it makes sense 'cause you're gonna be dealing with people that are looking for a job and people are looking for contracts,
Yeah,
right? I mean, there are companies that are looking for whatever reason, they need a new company. They
absolutely.
need a new firm, so they're like, "Hey, let's go to that thing. There's going to be 50 of them down there. So we'll figure one out.
Yeah, and there's like
So
I would say last year there's probably 5 or 600 from all around the world. People
it's
from
amazing.
Japan, people from
Yeah.
Europe. It's pretty cool.
Does it rotate around the world, around the country like every year?
It does. It was in Nashville the other year. I think this year's in Texas, I wanna say. Was it or in Vegas one year, so
Vegas.
they do
Yeah.
rotate it every year.
Yeah. 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 Makes sense. Give everybody a chance to, in the local areas to get there. Yeah. That's amazing. So are you concentrating mainly in Miami area or you branched out?
So we're concentrating in Los Angeles and Miami the most.
Okay.
With close protection, again, we're mostly known for the celebrity side of that. That's where they live. They live in LA, Hollywood, right? So for years, I've been hearing our celebrity clients say, Anton, how come you don't have guardians in LA? How come you don't have? And my answer was quite simply because I don't have the money like you to go ahead and open up a brick and mortar in LA when I live in South Florida. But then about 2 years ago, we were able to do it. So we got a small office out there. Again, a lot of people are connections that I've made throughout the years. They happen to live there, recruited some guys. Now LA has been really doing well. And I don't care. I'm a very dry guy. California is a lawless state. It's just lawless. The
Totally.
police can't be police. It's frustrating them. Crime homelessness, crime, drug abuse, all that's crazy out there. And I used to be a fugitive recovery agent. The fact that they don't have a bid, you don't have to bond out for under $1,000 to me blows my mind. So what's happening there,
Crazy.
it's nuts, drives me crazy. So what's happening there is a lot of high net worth individuals are saying, okay, we'll hire private security. Just maybe it's just overnight, watch my family while we're sleeping in my house, something like that. So that estate security has been doing very well. We're very happy with the growth there. And then again, the celebrity side, all of our celebs have a place out there somewhere. So we've got guys out there. So that's where I'm concentrating on the most right now. Everything else is organically growing naturally very well. The only thing I'm looking to push forward a lot more, Matt, is because we all are getting older, is executive protection. Because when you chase around celebrities around the world, you got a shelf life on you. And I'll be 50 years old next year, and I'm not really don't got guys my age that work with me and a little older than me. They don't want to deal with that, so they're asking me to start pushing us towards to get more executive protection heavy than we are celebrities. So because the celebrity side is fine, that works itself out.
Right, right. So when you're doing international travel with these people, that's a whole nother animal than just traveling around LA. Now you got to deal with other countries and weapons, if at all, and maybe some teams on the ground. I mean, do you have teams around in other countries?
Yeah, absolutely. So, as a international agent, the bodyguard that I've been doing this for 25 years now, at this level, and throughout those 25 years, I've built some solid relationships with people I trust. I know if we're going to Paris, I can call my Paris guy. I know if we're going to London, I could call my London guy. Latin America, we got a whole team down there for anywhere from Mexico all the way to the bottom of South America. So we've got assets in place there, local intel. We don't carry weapons outside of the United States. But if there are times where you need armed security, I'll hire my subcontractors. We've got an awesome relationship. They'll do anything for us. And plus, they got local intel. They know what's going on. Might there be civil unrest in this area? Might there have been terrorist threats in that area? Things that an American wouldn't really know unless you live there. So we definitely have those assets internationally. And again, our agents that are local, domestic American agents, they travel internationally. I'm literally on my fourth passport, filled front to back with stamps because that's how much you're going to travel when you do this. I retired traveling full time in 2020, and I'm very happy I did because it's a gypsy life. It's crazy, and it's
It
not.
is.
So yeah, that's that we do have our subcontracts tractors in those areas, and we don't just. I never post on Facebook or anybody. I'm looking for agents here. You'll never see me do that. I don't trust that. It needs to be somebody that I trust, and these are agents that I've trusted over the decades that have always done right by us, and we reward them with clients and income and jobs that they wouldn't have had prior to. So it's a win-win for everybody, and the client's safe.
Right, right. Well, that's excellent. Sounds good. Now, if you had a magic wand and you could eliminate like your biggest challenge, what do you think that would be?
Just the
At least this year.
This year, I've been seeing a lot of undercutting. A lot of undercutting
Mhm.
industry. A lot of before 2020, guards were pretty loyal. They stuck with one company, and that's where they were rocking on. Now, there's a lot of people that are just being cowboys and just going, "Who's going to pay me more? Okay, I'm done here. I'm going to go to this guy." And we don't believe in that
Mercenary style.
mercenaries. Yeah, and it's like, listen, the only way we're going to succeed is we work together and we all buy in. And for the most part, all of our guards have, for the most part, very, I would say over 90% of them have. But what I've noticed in the last couple of years has been a lot of that mercenary mentality, a lot of I'll do it for cheaper. A lot of people, social media, like I said, Matt, I hate social media. I call them Insta guards, like the Instagram guards. Like they're in our day, we had to make a name for ourselves by really working and really putting into work and literal blood, sweat, and tears. Now people get followers and just it's just a highlight reel of BS, and they're getting work as well. So that if I had a magic wand, I'd like to just swipe all those three out and go back to the way it used to be. But it is what it is.
Yeah, retention, right? I mean, you want to retain clients and you want to retain employees.
Yeah, we've done
You
well.
don't want them.
I
You
mean,
don't want them bouncing.
we've done well here. These guys have been they're loyal. I mean, and it's not because they love the logo so much. It's because, like I said, our leaders, me and the leaders, we lead by example. We're going to outwork them. We're going to do more from them. We're going to, if it's raining outside, we'll be in the rain while we tell them to go to the shade. Like that's how we show leadership here. And as well, we have profit sharing programs. I take care of 100% of their medical, their vision, their life, their health. They don't pay a dime. Like, their certifications that we spoke about. So that's how you retain guys, man. You make their lives easier because I can't say it enough. I'm a guard too. I'm a guard. I'm an event security officer. I'm an usher, whatever I need to be. I am that. So that's how we've been able to keep retention on the most part. And quite frankly, the ones that have left, and I said it's a very small amount, we're happier that they're gone because we're better off without that trouble player in the locker room anyways. Let them go to another team.
Right, right. Yeah, you want to keep the solid people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all you can do, right? Is create the best company we can create and have people stay because they love it and they stay loyal. As
Yeah.
long
And
as you have to work, people will stay.
work and it's difficult because we talked about prior to just getting on live about, like, a lot of people that start their own business, how do they do that? There's no school to learn how to there wasn't a school to learn how to become
Not
a
easy.
security, right? So I've been in security since I'm 18. At 19, 20, I became a stockbroker, series 7. I studied business in college, got my series
Right.
7, my series 63. I was a senior vice president at a brokerage firm at 21. I learned a lot about business.
Outstanding. Well, I tell you, I mean, you look like a very successful firm, and you got a lot of breadth, depth in different areas, which is amazing. It's very impressive. All right, sir. I appreciate you coming on, man. I mean, your system it sounds amazing. I mean, shoot, I wish I could work for a firm like that. It has free training, free jujitsu. I'd be all over that. Man, that's an asset. That's a major asset, right? I mean that's expensive stuff that people want to do on their off time. I mean, between a gym and a dojo, that's like a couple $100 each, So that's a major asset. I hope people appreciate. I'm sure they do, but that's major. Good stuff. All right, sir. So why don't you tell everybody where they can find you if they're looking for work or as a client? Very good. All right, you got some decent coverage on the net. Sounds good. Right. Okay. Right. Yeah. Yeah, I love it. All right, sir. Good luck to you. Good talking to you. You got it.